2020, there's a look at Lumen Field here in Seattle, Washington. Just about set for football. Blake Groupie is ready to get us started.
And off we go from Seattle.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. First carry here for Kenneth Walker III.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
Throw out wide to Walker.
And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's good for a first down, his second catch of the opening drive.
And as you're game planning as a staff, you go through all the different ways you can neutralize the other guy's pass rushers. Extra linemen, leave a tight end in, bring the running backs back in to block. Or you can do this, a little simple screen pass, and it works to perfection.
Walker now on 1st and 10. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40.
Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
Now it's Darnold.
He completes this to Walker.
And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
Up the middle, here's Walker.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line that hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Darnold. This is Fant on the short completion. And the broken tackle helps lead to a first down gain. 9 yards that time.
Really a solid start here on the opening drive, Charles. He's now 4 of 4, and they're already in plus territory.
Brandon, he's been so precise to start this game, like we're watching an operation taking place right now. Master surgeon at work.
Back to throw, Darnold. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. That his first incompletion after a 4-for-4 start.
Yeah, but they shouldn't back off from what they're doing. I like the play calling right out of the gate. I like the tone that they're setting. Keep going in that direction.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. Now Darnold. He's got his big tight end, Fant. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
To the air again, Darnold. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll be stopped well short. Only 2 yards there. 4th and 3.
Like any team playing, they're looking for touchdowns to try and help their cause. But in this case, he does get them a little closer at least if they think a field goal turns out to be the better call here.
And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th.
On the ground, it's the rookie from Alabama.
And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a first down. Surprised at all that they went with a fullback there?
Not at all, because it harkened back to the days where we watched these games almost in black and white, right? The stocky guy, the strong guy, the powerful guy with leg drive. Give him the football, and even if the blocking isn't perfect, he has the ability to scatter bodies and move people enough to pick up first downs. That's what we just saw right there.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line.
Well, not many guys who can blow up plays like Chase Young. He did it again there.
That was well defense right there. He saw the play in front of him and able to hold the point of attack. Then he sheds him and goes and makes a tackle for a loss.
And they'll try the air now with Darnold.
Oh, he had a man running free, but he overshot him, and it's incomplete.
A little bit of finger pointing and heavy discussion going on in the defensive backfield. It's man coverage, but they leave a guy wide open. They've got to be counting their lucky stars that this ball was overthrown.
Darnold now to throw. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. A 22-yard touchdown grab.
And the Seahawks get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
From his end zone, here's Rashid Shaheed. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
They'll get this out to Kamara.
And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
Charles, already trailing by touchdown early, this offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Oh, I see you nodding your head along with me, partner, because it's pretty obvious what they were trying to do there on the drag route. With his speed, they're hoping he can turn the corner and maybe take this to the house. But that was excellent work defensively to make sure once he caught it, he wasn't going anywhere.
They'll look to throw again.
He lets it go deep for Olave.
This is caught inside the 15. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown.
Chris Olave.
65 yards.
And the Saints respond to that opening drive touchdown with one of their own. Well, Charles, here in their opening series, they said they had certain plays scripted for certain players. That looked like a well-designed play to get one of their top targets involved.
Yeah, let's face it, Brandon. A player of his talent is a problem for any opponent to defend, and we saw it right there. They tried to deny an open lane to him. He still outplayed the coverage and scored the early touchdown. Good luck trying to figure out how to defend him as this game moves on.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape, up past the 30.
Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive.
A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
A big hole there. How about him handling the point of attack? Just positioning himself so that run could go right off of his backside and deep into the secondary.
Back to Walker on first down.
And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd down and 1. And going right back to Walker.
And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Darnold. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up 2nd.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. They'll fake the handoff. Now Darnold.
The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
What a sequence there defensively. You get the sack to move him to 3rd and long. Then here, just nothing available. And he's got to throw it away.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw is Darnold. And this is going to be incomplete.
That's well done defensively. They get the pressure they needed on 3rd down. All the receivers are locked up tight, and they force that quarterback to just throw it away.
The Seahawks will call on Michael Dixon on 4th down to punt this one away.
Deep for New Orleans is Rashid Shaheed.
And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their 2nd drive.
Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
2nd and 5.
There's a short one caught by Johnson.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll motion the tight end across the formation.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. A first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Now 3rd down and 7.
They'll look to throw here. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And they get him down about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 3rd down pickup of 5.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. Here's Darnold. And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
Nowadays, quarterbacks don't mind throwing into coverage because of the confidence they have in their receivers to come down with the ball. But sometimes you have to be careful you don't get too confident and throw an interception.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Here's Darnold. And Walker has it. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That'll pick up the 1st down for Seattle on a gain of 18. "7-7", our score after 1. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38 as they've got it as we resume action.
On the counter, it's Walker to the 43, 2nd down.
Well, you don't turn your nose up at a gain of 4, do you? They'll take that on 1st down. Playbook's got to be pretty well open on 2nd and 6.
Second down and 6 now. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. And he's got enough for the 1st across midfield to the 48. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
They gave him the option there on 3rd and short. Run or pass, you choose. And he decided to fling it out to the perimeter. And that was the right call as they pick up the 1st down.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. A play fake, and it's Darnold. He finds his man, complete. That's Walker. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Play action. It's Darnold.
Repeated the last play, finding Walker.
And this is going to be another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 29-yard line. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
From the gun, it's Walker.
He'll get it to the 23-yard line.
53 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
From the 23, this is 2nd and 3.
They'll set up to throw. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
23 yards for the touchdown. And the Seahawks have taken the lead.
A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that makes the score 14-7. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The New Orleans offense back out and ready to go.
They trail a one-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air.
And that nearly trouble, but it's incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it, and it'll be 2nd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. They'll set up a throw.
There's a short one to the tight end, Johnson.
And he'll only get this to about the 35, well short of the line to gain. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
A punt of 46, a return of 5. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
The offense on 3rd down, they've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 10. That'll be caught at Steven Sims. And he will be marked down short of the first as they get to him at the 29. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
And I think he just wanted to give the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area, and after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down.
The pass caught by Olave.
His 2nd catch, this one not quite as dynamic as his first, and it's 2nd down. He'll look to throw.
He'll get this one underneath to Kamara.
That'll go for a gain of 7. And it'll leave him with 3rd and a full yard to go.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down.
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
It's so important to tackle well against these guys, but you and I both know that's easier said than done when the guy you're trying to tackle looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down, and it did right there. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
But they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the 1st half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball possibly in the open field. And I think in the 2nd half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
That'll be taken in by Shaheed.
And he's brought down in the red zone at the 18 after a gain of 18. 1st and 10.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Here's a 2nd and 8.
Back to throw.
A quick throw there is incomplete. Try to get that one to Chris Olave.
And now it's 3rd down.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw.
And that one to the right side and incomplete.
Smart move to throw that one away. You're in field goal range, so you definitely don't want to be loose with the ball. And that's great work by this defense to force a 4th down.
Here's Blake Groupie now for the Saints field goal.
From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10.
So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
So after the field goal, back out is Groupie to send this one away. Here's Sims now from his end zone. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
And Seattle now ready to march out of the field.
Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Here's Walker to start the drive.
Taking it right down Broadway. Inside the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle.
Ken Walker.
71 yards.
And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
And with that carry, he's already over 100 yards here in the first half.
And, partner, you know exactly what he's saying to his teammates right now, right? Especially to the play caller.
Give me the ball.
Again,
and again.
And again. It's not that heavy, sir. I'll take it.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And that makes it a 21-10 game. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
And they'll have very good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. They'll look to make some inroads here, trailing 21-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down.
Well, this hasn't really been a first half to remember on either side of the ball, but I think this kind of makes this an important drive. You'd love to get this back to a one-score game if you can, and that's good work there to get some yardage here and pick up the 1st down.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Johnson's got it complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 33. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
They'll look to throw again. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long. Back to throw again. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. Again, he'll drop to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22.
And they just keep marching right along. 1st down on a pickup of 8 there.
Well, they've certainly gotten him involved in this first half, and on third down, they looked his way again. And what a delight for his quarterback to find him and keep the drive moving.
On first down, he'll drop to throw.
And that nearly trouble, but it's incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it, and it'll be second down.
And I think he was a little surprised to see the ball sitting out there like that. That's a ball he had a chance to come away with, but it winds up an incomplete pass.
From the 21, it's second and 10. He'll drop to throw. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go over the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at third and 10. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw.
That is caught by Olave. Touchdown, New Orleans.
A great effort there with his second touchdown here in this first half.
And the Saints have got it back to within a score. And now, of course, all scoring plays are reviewed, and I think they're going to take an extra long look at this one. Here's Groupie for the PAT.
And he's got it to make this a 21-17 game.
After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Seattle now ready to march onto the field.
Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Here's a 2nd and 3 now from the 33.
Off of play action, Darnold. Throw left side, complete to Cup. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Darnold.
He completes this to Walker.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Now it's Darnold.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. Pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that'll send them back to the drawing board.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Throwing again is Darnold. This is Fant on the short completion. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward.
Third and 3.
Here's Darnold. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
And I feel like my man, Old Mo, momentum might be changing jerseys right now. How about what they just got done? They scored a touchdown their last drive. Now here's a 3 and out. Maybe momentum's getting ready to creep to the other sideline.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. It'll be just an 18-yard punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. Both these offenses have been in fine form. What will the second half bring us as we are underway in quarter 3?
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Saints going to take over on offense to begin this third quarter. Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the third quarter.
And we both know this coach pretty darn well, don't we? Because his game planning is always on point. And now that he's getting the ball to start the second half, how about all the offense that you already referenced in the first half? He'll put that all together and come out with something really strong, I believe, to get things going here in the third quarter.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I know they'd love to take some heat off of that young quarterback, but so far, not much in the running game, and this won't help things either. A loss on that play.
2nd down, and it's Kamara again.
And he's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage, but that's about it. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right, he's pretty much been completely neutralized.
Still needing 10 yards. Now it's 3rd down.
Back to throw here. Catch made, it's Moreau. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. That'll give him 8 that time, and it'll be 4th down.
Now that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch the game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the first down sticks are, yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. Good coverage there. An even 50-yard punt leads to a return of 5.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
Now we'll see what this Seahawks offense has in store with their first possession of the second half. They have played so strongly. You look at the scoreboard, you probably, with the way they played, you would think the margin would be a lot bigger, right?
You would. And in your experience, how many times have we run into coaches where they've talked about, hey, we just want to put it in the hands of our defense and have them win the game? In this case,
yeah, not the case.
Not at all. You want to put it in the hands of your offense, but you always feel better about seeing defense because you think defense is a constant and offense kind of comes and goes. Today, this game, no, they need their offense to stay on a really hot level.
They've been hot so far. Faking the give, Darnold.
Throw out wide to Walker.
And they'll get him down here at the 23. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. Darnold now to throw. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Brian Brzee fought in and got him down. I'm sure a lot of time was spent in the locker room, Charles, with talking with his defense about setting a tone here in the third quarter when you're down on the scoreboard. A sack like that, maybe that can get them going.
Yeah, you have to believe exactly what you just said, that they got together and said, let's be some change agents here. Let's go ahead and turn things around. Let's be the force that gets us going here in the second half and puts us in a position to find a way to win the game.
Set to take over once again. Out comes the Saints offense.
And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
He was brought down there by Julian Love.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Throw out wide is incomplete.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well, incomplete.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. They'll look to throw here.
That is caught.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. That one goes for 29 yards on 3rd down.
This is going to be a corner route to their tight end, and I'll tell you what, it's man coverage, so that makes it hard for a linebacker to stay with him. And he's able to make the catch on the right side of the field and pick up the first down.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara.
And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. 2nd down.
It's been a struggle this entire game trying to move the ball on the ground. But every now and then you find a little chink in the armor, and that type of run right there lets them know that they can't stop every single run for almost no gain.
Now a 2nd and 6.
They'll drop to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
They got to get to the 23 here on 3rd. He'll look to throw. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38.
Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him.
Partner, you know what I'm going to say before I even say it.
Yeah, you just cannot take a sack in that spot.
You're exactly right. You can't take a sack in that spot. Potentially now a 3-point swing right there.
And he put enough leg into it, but it's well off to the right and no good. And that will keep this a 4-point game.
Yeah, 55 yards is anything but a gimme. You've got to really concentrate on your leg swing and proper technique. This time, though, he's unable to convert.
Now they're set up nicely at the 45-yard line after the missed field goal from 55. Here's Darnold. Open man right side is Cup, complete. They'll wind up getting just a yard, and that will bring up 2nd down.
They'll toss this out right to Walker.
He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
On 3rd down, here's Walker.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on for the 5th time here today. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line.
The New Orleans offense set to take over.
Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him. I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
On play action, they'll throw. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Partner, for once in my life, I'll be succinct. In a one-possession game, every single stop like that could be a difference maker.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Back to throw.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
He's having a nice game through the air. His decision-making's been really good. Solid there again. Just seeing nothing downfield goes underneath. Nice game.
How about the patience? Because when you're having a big game through the air, you're looking for those chunk plays, those big ones downfield. Instead, as you noted, takes the check down, dumps it off, gains good yardage anyway. Really well executed.
It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw.
That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
No receivers open, so he was forced to put that one into Puget Sound. That's a great job defensively blanketing those receivers, and ultimately, a smart idea by him just to get the ball out of there.
We sit in quarter number 3 out in Seattle, a 2nd and 10 now.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw.
Finds his man. That's Olave on the crossing route.
And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 15-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards.
And time to give some credit to the big fellows, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes because you got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
And that is incomplete here.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on first down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
Here's 2nd and 10.
from the gun. It's a run for Kamara. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Kamara will get down close to the goal line, but not in, as he'll be marked down at the 1.
Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here this close. Sneak.
Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
Now they'll bring one of their tight ends in motion right. They'll run it with Kamara. And he's going to be shoved back short of the goal line. They hold him again, and now all of a sudden it's 3rd and goal at the 1. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run. And
under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. Leonard Williams, the former number 6 overall pick, got the sack that time.
You and I both know we're into a whole new realm of football because we're not just looking at tendencies anymore. We're looking at analytics, and I've got to think the analytics on 3rd and 1 say run the football.
And the attempt at 3 will have to come from the other end of the field as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Saints who hold the football, but they're trailing as we begin the 4th quarter of play. And this one is right through, and that'll bring him back within a point.
So that gets him a little closer as he converts there, but you have to think back to the field goal he missed earlier.
Right now, that's the difference between leading and trailing. So at this moment, he's reciting that kicker's prayer that we know so well. Just give me one more shot before this one's said and done.
So after the field goal, back out his groupie to send this one away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape up past the 30.
The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that 1st down carry.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
And not much of an opening there as he's only going to get this to about the 32.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. The Seahawks on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 8.
A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
The frustration evident there because he couldn't find anyone on 3rd down, and he left no doubt that he was throwing that one away.
Now here's Michael Dixon as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. This will be fielded at the 17. That'll wind up being a 50-yard punt, though they do get 10 back on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Out onto the field comes New Orleans.
Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara.
And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be second down.
The defense thought they had that play covered, but it still got driven backward by those blockers. Those types of plays are a key part of any team's offensive game plan. It all starts up front in the trenches.
From the 32-yard line now, here's a second down and 6.
Again, it's Kamara.
40 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Playing against a 3-4 front is really challenging for offensive linemen because they can do so many different things. But when you're running the football, if you can handle the nose tackle up front and it may be a guard can slide up to the second level and block a linebacker, that's when you have success running the football.
Here's Kamara, try to run for it. Oh, what a juke into space.
And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10.
And Shaheed going to go in motion.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Second down and a little more than a yard here.
In motion goes the tight end. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And the Seahawks defense gets to him and they bring him down. Uchenna and Nwosu got the sack there.
All about the offense so far this drive, putting something sustained together. But the defense, they responded on that play. Second and manageable became 3rd and long. The drive marching to the end zone is one play from stalling out.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
He'll get this one underneath to Kamara.
And they will advance this across midfield, but still well shy of a first as he's tackled at the 47.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
Here comes the Saints punter now. He's been terrific so far. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field.
Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here.
Walker now on 1st and 10.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Quick throw caught out wide by Valdez-Scantling. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down.
A play fake, and it's Darnold.
And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And we'll see what he can do on the return. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Kamara up the middle. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and make sure nothing could get to the outside, but he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
Tough spot here, 3rd down and 11.
Now back to throw. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
That was for the lead right there. They know they're in a position where fortune favors the brave. So they took their shot, but couldn't connect.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. A 39-yard punt, a return of 5, and it'll be Seahawk football 1st and 10. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
And slow going there as he'll only get a yard, maybe, up to the 41.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
And we're at the 41, 2nd and 9. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down.
And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 5 yards that time, taking it himself, and he has enough for the 1st.
I do know that owners, when they watch their quarterbacks running with the football, they usually hold their breath because that's the franchise. But when you're getting that kind of a gain, hard to argue against calling it.
Up the middle, here's Walker. And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35. 146 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners.
And all the way in, touchdown Seattle.
Kenneth Walker
with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Seahawks are able to build on to their 4th quarter lead. Well, it has been the passing game that's really been responsible for much of the scoring so far. But let's not forget about this running attack. They're pretty good, too, as evidenced right there.
And I think, Brandon, the fact that they've thrown the ball so well contributed to that touchdown because that was a defense that was really keyed up to cover those receivers. All they wanted to do was blanket them. They didn't have enough men in the box to stop the run, and you saw the end result.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
On the return, here's Rashid Shaheed. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
The Saints again ready to go on offense. There's still plenty of time here in the fourth quarter. In just a one-possession game, down 8. They'll be looking for the touchdown and two-point conversion. A field goal here on this drive does very little at this stage. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. He'll try again with the arm here on second down.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on first and second down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's a much-needed first down right there. Look, they're down by 8. So logic says they don't have to get a touchdown out of this drive. But the way things are going, I don't know if I'd put it in the hands of my defense here. You might not get the ball back at all. So if a 4th down situation comes up, I'm thinking hard about going for it right here and right now.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
If you're looking for glory, looking to get your name in the headlines, you do not want to play nose tackle. But how about what we just saw there? The ability to hold people up, take on extra blocks, and actually slip them and make a tackle on that play. That's big time.
Here's 2nd and 8. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw.
Gets this complete to Shaheed. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1-yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. They'll look to throw again.
He completes it to Olave.
And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 22-yard line.
And this is obviously a spot where you lean on your stars. Get the ball to them in open space and let them do what they do.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now.
Back to throw. Throw right side into the hands of Foster Moreau.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
Second and 6 coming up.
Back to throw.
Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted.
Julian Love picks it.
And the Seahawks have just about sewn up this football game. We got to have two hands on the football here as they run on first down.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Another run on second down, trying to cover up. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down, and that should just about do it.
The Seahawks in victory formation as they go ahead and take the knee. Now the Saints will use their third and final timeout as the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play. And they will take a knee here. Darnold is going to take a knee, and that should just about do it. So the victory here for Seattle, and it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3 points, that lone field goal in the entire second half.
And remember the old adage, offense sells tickets, defense does what?
Wins championships.
And in this game, maybe a championship wasn't won, but a game was by the defense, right? Held them to just a field goal. That's a heck of a job. I mean, when they went out there with that determination and a pretty good game plan, pretty good idea of what they wanted to accomplish, just love the execution, love the tenacity, love the way they finished.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say so long from Seattle.